What's going on, guys? It's Deltre, and I heard that you guys wanted a strategy game with a good story. So Final Fantasy Tactics is like, wow, this is in my opinion easily one of the greatest strategy tactics games ever made. I'm 100% behind that. I will defend that to the death. This is my favorite game. If not my favorite game, one of my favorite games ever made with ease. There's just so many good things about it. This is one of those rare games that strikes the balance between simple enough that somebody can understand it and have a good time with it, yet complex enough that people who have beaten the game several times over still might not know everything there is to know. And I think there's something to be said for that. It's really awesome in a way, you know. There's just all these different options, all this customization that you can do. Oh, it's great. Oh god, wait, come back. This game has an amazing soundtrack and a very engaging story on top of that. It's really hard to say that it makes no sense that this is one of the first breakout games or the first breakout successes in the genre. It just makes perfect sense, honestly. That said, there's some problems, a really big one at that. So, in the later half of this game, the difficulty disappears. It's just gone. Like, after the third arc of the game, man, oh man, it is a complete stomp, and even a first-time player will almost inevitably stumble their way into some super really overpowered setup, you know what I mean? So yeah, if there were one thing wrong with this game, it would be that, which is why we are not playing Final Fantasy Tactics as you know it. No, this is Final Fantasy Tactics 1.3. What's the difference? What's the difference? Let's go ahead and hit new game right here. So, in short, the difference between this as opposed to the vanilla version of the game is that this game kicks you in the balls from the start. Yeah, that's... that would be the big one, honestly, man. So 1.3 is this difficulty slash rebalance mod created by some very hardcore fans of this game. And the main aim of it is to make it so that you can't just use the really, really broken stuff to win every single map. It's to make it so that you have a reason to use a lot of the really cool classes and options that this game throws your way. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Some of the later stuff gets really, really ridiculous. But if you're somebody who's beat this game a million times and you want something a little bit more challenging, if you want to feel like you're really being rewarded for experimenting with all the different options that you have, this is definitely a good one to check out. I think there's also some other ones that are very creative in their approaches to sort of fixing the game, quote unquote, I guess. But this one is very, very faithful to the original game, and that's kind of why I like it, because we can still talk about the story, we can still actually look at this as if it were Final Fantasy Tactics. The only difference being that it's actually very difficult. Very, very difficult. Oh my god, this is difficult. You guys thought Lunatic Reverse was hard? Haha, no. This is the hard game right here. This is the game that you want to play if you think you know your shit. This is what you want to do if you think you're Mr. Alpha Strategy Master. Oh god, this game will put hair on your chest. This game will make you feel dumb. That's two things that I can promise without a doubt. Man, I can't actually remember the last time I sat down and actually looked at these cutscenes here. I usually just skip through it, honestly. Now, the story is actually really good, like I said. It's kind of interesting in a way because we're also playing Fire Emblem Fates right now, which is a game that is renowned for having a really bad story. So this could be like some sort of compare and contrast, I guess, if you happen to watch both. Maybe you're just watching this, maybe you have no idea what Fire Emblem is. If so, hey, welcome. This is still an awesome game. I'm sure that a lot of people know about this game at the very least, right? This game is so old. I'm actually playing the PlayStation 1 version just because that is what I am accustomed to. There was a PSP remaster slash re-release with updated scripts, new classes, and all that good stuff. I don't know if I really care for the new translation. It's not bad at all or anything like that. There's something about this one that's really easy to understand, I guess. It's spoken in more plain English, whereas the translation or the retranslation of the PSP version is more like Shakespearean. So that can be kind of off-putting for some people. I really don't know how I feel about it. I haven't sat down and played through the entire game or anything. We got this dude in the back. I wonder who that could be. Now, this is a very, very serious game as compared to some of the other stuff I have played. So, obviously, we need to take that into consideration while naming our character here. This should be good, right? I think this should be appropriate. Is my G okay? Man, I hope so. I certainly hope so. Enter your birthday. So, at this point, you need to select your birthday. And unlike a lot of other games, this actually does kind of matter. Hell, even compared to the original game, this kind of matters. But funnily enough, January 1st is actually a pretty good one, although it does make this first battle a little bit obnoxious in some ways. I don't know, I guess we'll see how things work out for me. Healthy dose of RNG and all that. So if you're not familiar with this game at all, if this is your first time seeing anything related to this, I will of course try to like explain it so that people can actually understand what's going on. I know that a lot of people are probably here from like Fire Emblem stuff and whatnot. I mean, what else would you even be here for, I guess? So in that sense, I expect that there will be some people seeing this who have absolutely no idea what this even is really. But I don't really want to spend the entire first part just talking about mechanics, because I could definitely do that. Like I said, it's simple enough that you can make your way through this game no problem without really taking the time to understand everything about it. But I feel like in 1.3, you're definitely a lot more encouraged to figure stuff out and figure out how the game actually works and why things happen the way that they do. Again, I will try to explain things when it makes sense to do that. You know what I mean? Oh my god, look at these gorgeous PS1 graphics. Oh my god. This Game of the Year stuff right here. I don't know, was this even ever considered amazing? I'm sure that it was at least, you know, good at the time. I never really remember having a problem with these cutscenes or anything like that. But oh god, this makes me feel old, guys. I'm not even that old. But yeah, I don't want to spend the entire first part talking about every little intricacy there is to know about this game. And I'm sure some of you guys, like all three of you that were around from the very beginning of this channel, might actually recognize this. So yeah, this was actually the first game that I tried to play on this channel. I didn't really feel like I did a very good job with it, all things considered, so it kind of just fell off. And I don't know, by the time I got to the later parts of the game, I was really starting to hit a stride with it, and then it was like, oh man, looking back at these first parts, I can't say that I'm too happy with that, you know what I mean? But here we are in the year 2018, giving this one more shot. And this is something that I really wanted to do for a while. Like I said, I love this game. I could play it a million times and still not be tired of it, I guarantee. It's just, it's so good. I can spend the entire first part fanboying, I guess. I don't know if that would necessarily be better than talking about the mechanics and crap. But we got these knights here. They are rolling up on someplace pretty hot here. I don't know. Maybe these aren't such good guys here. You know, I will say that I think this game came out in the same year as Final Fantasy VII, and it definitely it looks better than that. That's for sure. No Popeye arms here. And at last, they reach their destination. What could possibly await on the inside of this citadel? That's for us to find out right here. My god, this takes me back so far, guys. So here we are at the Orban Monastery. I do like that this game just kind of throws you into it. Okay, well, there we go. Loading times, man. I thought I was emulating what's going on here. I like that this game just throws you into it, though, because we're kind of joining a plot in motion, which is always nice. It's a good way to get people interested, I think. I was definitely interested. God, I was so bad. I was so bad at this game when I played it for, like, the very first time, though. I can remember not knowing how to deploy people and stuff, which I guess will matter on the next map a lot more, but oh my god. Yeah, it's a little bit obtuse with some things, I'll say that. Obviously, we gotta talk about the story, right? This is like the main attraction right here. Screw the difficulty. I'm here for Agrias. I'm here for Agrias and nothing else. That's the real reason why we chose January 1st as our birthday, but hey.
Princess Ovelia, let's go. Just a moment, Agrias.
Oh, you already know voice acting and everything? Oh, that good stuff.
The guards have already arrived.
Princess, don't give Agrias trouble. Please hurry. So here we have the Black Knight. He's really more of a brown knight. I feel like this is a little bit of a misnomer, huh? I'm not seeing the Black Knight, but yeah, he's definitely very brown and gray. I guess that doesn't really sound nearly as badass, right? What's going on? It's been nearly an hour.
Don't be rude to the princess, Garyon.
Oh, did I spoil her name? Yeah, her name is Agrias. Is this gonna be alright, Agrias? This is an urgent issue for us.
So there are rude knaves even among the Hokuten.
I'm being more than kind to the guard captains here. Besides, we're mercenaries hired by the Hokuten. I'm not obliged to show respect to you.
What? How dare you?
Ooh, let me fix that. So for some reason, and I don't know why this is, but this game is like hell to actually play on a computer. I don't know why. It's almost as if it wasn't designed to be played on a computer or something like that. I don't know. But hopefully that should resolve that little issue. That's not what that sound effect is supposed to sound like, and I should know because I played this a million times, so yeah, no. Go with God.
You too, Simon.
See you later, bud. See you in 3 acts.
Lady Agrias, the enemy.
The enemy! Prince Goltana's men. And Agrias is out of here. What one must do to make money. What, my G? You have a problem too? Yeah! I'm no longer a knight, just a mercenary like you. And here is our main character, my G. So we got to name him, but we can name a lot of the other characters too. In fact, why don't you guys post up some suggestions for names? We're gonna need, like, both girls and dudes. So whichever, I might even just use your name, honestly, but like I said, you might end up as a chick, so yeah, no. Anyways, that's right. Well then, let's go. So there's something about my G here. We're not entirely sure what exactly just yet, but it seems like there was something else about him in his past. Maybe he wasn't always like this. Maybe he had a little bit more money.
Oh God.
I do like the fact that it doesn't really take too long to get into the first battle, because here we go. Like, this is it right here. We're already starting the game, which is great. It's definitely great. And it's like, this map is not generally considered very difficult, but I would say that I've actually seen people complain about this one a little bit in terms of like the 1.3 version of it. I don't see it myself. I don't know. We'll see in a second, but
The crest of the Black Lion. What's wrong with Prince Goltana? He's such an idiot. Does he want to start a war?
I wouldn't want to start a war with Agrias. She's the best. Ooh. Nay, there's no point in resisting. Just give us the princess, or that beautiful face of yours will be scarred forever. I guess he just doesn't know, in all fairness. Actually, Agrias isn't even that good in this, but hey. Fool, only idiots attack head on.
Leave this to us.
We can't make money that way. Rad, my G, follow me. Will I ever name a character seriously? Probably not. Anyways, we're already thrown into the first battle. For this one, we gotta defeat all the enemies. Pretty easy. The problem is that 90% of the guys on this map are guests, which we'll see in a second. Kill them all, don't leave any survivors.
Nonsense, there's no need to kill them. That's just what Goltana wants us to do. Just let them go.
That's impossible. But why though? So yeah, these guys are considered guests, and the problem with that is that if you've ever played any strategy game at all, it's that guests aren't necessarily all that smart. Garion is actually going to go for a spell right there, right off the bat. It's going to get interrupted right off the bat as well. Come on, see, Garion, you should have just attacked the archer, man. That would have went so much better for us here. Now, there's already a lot of things happening, so this might look kind of unfamiliar if you have not played this game before, but what Garion did right there was charge a spell, as this chemist does as well. So what we're seeing here is that attacks don't necessarily all go off instantly, which is something pretty unique about Final Fantasy Tactics. And it's something they also removed from the sequels to this game, which I really hate. Like in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, every action goes off instantly. We can actually see right here just when everything is going to be happening. So this guy Fucks right here. Hey, that's what his name is, man. It says right there, Fucks the chemist. So he went for an explosion on, is this Alicia or Lavian? This is Lavian. So he went for an explosion right there, and we can see that there's going to be an opportunity for us to potentially take this guy out before he gets his attack off, which is really neat. It adds another layer of depth to this. What we're going to do here, though, is move in with our boy, my G, right here, and we're going to go for a cheer up, which is an ability right here that adds the regen status to whoever it hits. And if we give this to Lavian, that should in theory keep her alive, because again, everybody but my G here is going to be a guest for this map, meaning they're going to do whatever they do. We don't have any kind of control over them, unfortunately. We only can control my G, and what I'm doing that for is so that theoretically these guys should go for attacks rather than anything else. Agrias is actually going to murk that guy. Is she going to get it off first or no? Is she going to get it off first, I wonder? So we're seeing a lot of different attacks here. It's mostly self-explanatory. So right there, Alicia is actually going to reduce this guy's power. So that's going to mean that when he goes for his next attack, as you might imagine, he's going to be doing less damage than he would otherwise be. He's this guy right here going for the time strike. Now, it doesn't look like Agrias is actually going to... Whoa, Agrias, where is your attack? Oh, it's right here. I'm like, where did she go? Okay, so we're going to let them continue about their way. So the trick with this one is that there's like that chemist right there. Now, chemists are basically sort of support units, right? They throw around items. They're pretty good for healing. They throw out potions, Phoenix Downs, which can revive party members. If you're only familiar with like Fire Emblem, permanent death is in this game, but it doesn't work nearly the same way. If a character should go down for whatever reason, you have 3 turns to revive them. And chemists are so good at this because they can revive characters from multiple tiles away. And they can also do it instantly by using Phoenix Downs, whereas other characters, for example, using a life spell or something like that, may take an extra little bit of time, which can make all of the difference in the world. So, we're going to take this explosion right here on Lavian, but again, we gave her that regen status so that hopefully characters like Agrias and Gafgarion, instead of spending all of their time healing, will instead go on the offense here. We definitely need their support to actually make this work out. Agrias should body this guy. Yeah, goodbye. It's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun. So she's like this knight character who has both access to magic as well as some special sword skills that I would have liked her to use because they can get some pretty nasty status effects on this guys. That'll make it a whole lot easier to win. Gafgarion, do you want to actually attack these guys or what, man? Green units, they're the same in every game. I don't care. Well, it's going to be just fine. The fact that we're actually getting some guards here right off the bat is very nice. Now, the way that the turns work in this game is actually pretty important. So essentially what's happening here, and the reason that the turns are happening in the way that they are, is that characters each have their own individual speed stat, which you can see from the, whatever you want to call it, their character sheets or whatever. If you pull them up here, which we'll have a chance to do in a second, you can see a lot of their stats right here. So my G has a speed of 6. And you can see all of these bars right here, most of them pretty self-explanatory. You got HP, MP, CT. Now, CT is basically what is going to determine when you get your next turn. When this bar hits 100, you're able to take some kind of action. Now, the speed stat is added to your CT gauge roughly, like, every time nothing is happening, essentially your CT gauge is building up until somebody hits 100, and then it will be their turn. Now, the higher the speed value that you have, the faster this gauge will fill up, and it goes 1-to-1. So if I have 6 speed, it's filling up 6 speed at a time, if that makes sense. So, for example, if I have 10 speed, it'll take 10 charges to get to 100. And that's kind of the basis for determining who's going to move and when. There's also some other really more or less basic stuff. We have, like, attack power, both physically and magically, which is going to determine how much damage you do, obviously. HP, obviously, when that hits 0, your character is going to go down. MP, that's going to determine how many special attacks and abilities you can use. When that hits 0, you obviously can't use any more of those. Nothing else really too crazy going on here, I don't think. We also have these abilities over here, but that's not... Again, I don't really want to spend the entire first video talking about all of this crap because I honestly could. Now, this guy went down, and that's really good. So what you want to do in this game, in 1.3 in particular, is kill people who have the ability to revive other characters. Like this guy, for example, can revive because he has the item command, which allows him to use things like Phoenix Down. That guy has precision and steel. This guy has just precision. Okay, so we already know that this guy over here is basically our next target, more or less. Also, I think that Lazalis can also revive people, which kind of sucks. So there's like 3 people that can revive on the first map, which is kind of brutal, but it teaches you right off the bat that, oh my god, do I have bad? Yeah, I do, don't I? Yeah, so I'm not doing a whole lot of damage to that guy. I must have like the very worst compatibility. Yeah, I do. So, speaking of compatibility, by choosing our birth date at the beginning of the game, it actually affects this right here, which is the zodiac sign. And this is based on like real zodiac signs, I'm pretty sure. So because we picked January 1st, his sign is Capricorn. Now this affects things like hit rates for status, things like sleep, poison, that sort of thing. And it also affects your damage. If you have good compatibility, which we can see a list right here, Tauros and Virgo, good compatibility for our sign, which is, yeah, you never thought you'd see astrology in a strategy game, right? I thought we left that behind in high school. What's going on? So I have good compatibility with Tauros and Virgo, so I'm doing more damage against characters with those signs, regardless of whether they are enemy or ally. But because I have worse compatibility with a Cancer of the same sex, as you can see there, it means I'm actually doing 0 damage to this guy pretty much. I should have checked that before moving. That doesn't really matter in, like, regular Final Fantasy Tactics, but since this is, like, super hardcore Final Fantasy Tactics, it actually matters quite a bit. Agrias is putting in all kinds of work, though. She's just picking these guys off left and right, which is kind of what we're looking for here. The less time we have to spend on this battle, the better, because, again, I don't really have too much control over it. Choosing to give regen to Lavian there does help out a little bit, though. As we're seeing, she's already back to full health, so my AI guest partners aren't going to be wasting their turns trying to heal each other, and will instead just focus on doing as much damage as they possibly can. Now, see, right here is an example of the AI being ridiculously smart in this game. Agrias was going for a magical attack on that archer, and as you may expect, magical attacks cost MP. What that knight right there just did was drain Aegrias's MP so that by the time she actually can cast the spell, she's not going to have the MP to do so, and it's going to fail. Which sucks in this case. It definitely sucks. I'm not sure why she's not using her sword abilities. She definitely has some. I swear she does. That's like her thing, so it's really surprising we're not seeing any of that. But right there, you can see, no MP, because the game actually it played me. The game played you, Aegrias. What are you doing? Yeah, Garion, on the other hand, should actually be able to kill this guy if we can land this hit. Now, the RNG in this game is actually ridiculous. 72% is almost 0 as far as I'm concerned, so the fact that we haven't missed so far is really good. This guy may go for a revival, as he does, but that's actually kind of good in this case because Phoenix Down as a revival ability, as we see, does not restore people to a very high amount of HP. We can take that guy out with almost anybody. The thing is, though, he did get a turn immediately, so he's going to be able to at least do some chip damage before we can take him out again. Little bit unfortunate there, but what can we do, honestly? Now, as long as I play this a little bit intelligently here, we should be more or less fine. Does Leslie here... Yeah, he has basic skills, so maybe he has revival. I'm not entirely sure. That's one thing about this game. That's a little bit annoying. You can't really check what skills within skill sets that enemies actually have mastered. So something else kind of noteworthy about this is that when you're attacking enemies, you generally don't want to attack them head on. If you do, that's when they're going to have their highest evasion. So it's much more intelligent to attack enemies from the side like we just did right there. And I imagine that Alishi will finish off that weakened archer for us, so that's why I'm not too concerned about him. Aegrias chipping this guy down. Of course, attacking from the side does not guarantee a hit. Essentially, the way it works is that when you attack from head on, characters get their full evade, which is determined by whatever class they may be, as well as any accessories, shields, so on and so forth. When you attack from the side, they do not get that class evasion, but they still can use, I believe, shields and accessories. When you attack them from behind, they can only use accessories to bolster their evasion stat. So ideally, you would be attacking from behind 9 times out of 10 whenever the opportunity presents itself. That guy missed the revival, which is great. So yes, there's more than one form of revival in this game, but they all have varying degrees of usefulness. You can see there that had he hit that wish, that chemist right there would have come back, but he would have only had 1 HP. Not only that, but it's very inaccurate as compared to other forms of revival. A Phoenix Down will never miss, for example, but Wish has a chance to miss, depending on that compatibility we were talking about, as well as some other factors as well. Now, a lot of this... If it sounds complicated, just understand that in Final Fantasy Tactics, the vanilla game, none of this matters, but I'm just explaining it because, one, I know it, so I might as well use this information somehow, and two, it's just kind of important for, like, the long term and whatnot, so we can kill that guy right there pretty easily. If somebody's watching this and they've never played this, but they're kind of interested, like, feel free to ask questions. I feel like I know this game fairly well, but not so well that I'm gonna breeze through this. In fact, when I first tried playing this, we had like a death counter joke going on, and it got like ridiculously high. I think on one battle I lost like, God even knows how many times. Like 10, 15 times on one battle, because this gets insanely hard later on in the game. And that's something I really like about the 1.3 version of this, is that they kind of used all the unique mechanics to the advantage to make it more strategic, more or less. And that's something that hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of. I think that Rad should be able to throw a rock at this guy. You're seeing this throw stone ability a lot, and it sounds really dumb, but it's actually kind of useful for exactly what we're seeing right here. When characters are revived on low HP like that, it's actually kind of nice to have a ranged attack that can just pick people off like that. It also has some other properties to it, like you can knock characters backwards, which actually matters, because as you guys have no doubt noticed, compared to a game like Fire Emblem, this game actually introduces the third dimension into the mix, so there's not only X and Y axis, but there's also the Z axis and height. God, I feel like I'm on point with this. I'm like flying through this, man. We're getting all kinds of technicalities here. This is the smartest I will ever sound, by the way. So yeah, we've just about got this first one under wraps. Of course he guards. Of course he guards. Why would he not? Why would he not get the guard? Yeah, there's really not a whole lot we can do about this. I think that for the most part we have this under control. This can definitely get out of hand, which is why I understand where some people may think that the first map is a little bit luck-based. And in truth, it is a little bit luck-based, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as people say it was. Now, if I hadn't chose to give Labian that regen at the beginning of the battle, it might have worked out a little bit more precariously, I guess, because if your guests are spending their turns not attacking, that can be very bad. Essentially, if we're not getting a lot of damage in this map, things can drag out pretty considerably, but I feel like we did an alright job at ensuring that doesn't happen. And even though Leslie there is reviving these guys pretty consistently, you have to also consider the fact that he's basically wasting his turn to do that because they go down in a single attack. And Gefgarian gets the crit for the finish. Nice. Nice. So that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. That can definitely be a lot worse. Whoa! So that was not too hard at all. It gets hard, I promise. I promise it gets difficult. Yeah, I don't feel like that's a very difficult first map. Especially not in the original game, where it just kind of serves to show you how the game mechanics work and what's going on with all of that stuff. But we have this right here. There's something about a princess or something like that. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Let go of me. No. Damn. Agrias, you had one job. You had literally one job. Watch the princess. And here we are. Come here. Be quiet.
Why should I listen to you?
What an annoying princess. That's not a very good voice for Delita. And in that moment, the two fell deeply in love. So already the princess is being kidnapped. That's just great. Wait. That'll do it. Tough. Don't blame us. Blame yourself. Or God. Oh, scathing. Scathing. Oh, God. Well, I guess she made her choice. God it is. Delita. You're alive, Delita. But why are you in Goltana's troops? Why? Why indeed? Who is this mysterious Delita? I guess we'll just never know. Nah, just kidding. The game's about to tell us. But I think that's a very interesting first chapter there. So there's already a ton of things going on. And like I said at the beginning, you're kind of thrown into the middle of this sort of conflict. So you don't really have the greatest idea of everything. But then the game is going to go back right here and sort of set things up a little bit more clearly. So this Delita guy, he may or may not be very important. I guess we're gonna see. Oh God, this is so slow. Yeah, we're not doing this. Are you serious? Look at this. Okay, Jesus Christ. I don't know how fast I sped that up. Probably like 3 to 4 times, and it's still ridiculously slow. And I don't know why. That one section about little money, it's always like that. That's not like an emulator issue. It happens like that in the original PlayStation 1 game on the correct console and everything. I don't know what the hell happened there, man. Maybe it's supposed to be like dramatic effect or some crap. I have no idea. But I do like that little crawl, though. It sets things up pretty nicely. So now we're seeing that essentially the land of Evilise, which is this place we are in, just got out of this very, very long conflict. And even though politically things kind of worked out so that you could say that it was a victory, I suppose, we're seeing that a lot of the veterans from that war are now returning to find that they have no job. They're essentially kind of tossed away to the wayside because there's no purpose for them now that the war is actually over. And you're seeing how that, and we're seeing that poverty sort of sets in here due to the fact that a lot of these people don't have other skills. They can't just jump back into the job market, you know what I mean? Because that's what they were. They were soldiers, and now there's no need for them. And that sort of creates this disconnect and this, well, I guess we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but it creates this sort of situation where a lot of people are going to be feeling disgruntled because they're coming home. They just put their lives on the line for this country, and now it's essentially turning them, it's essentially tossing them to the side of the road, right? So I think it's very interesting, and I think that as the game goes on, that gets expanded on more and more, which creates this cool system between, like, nobility and the common person. And I just have so much good things to say about the plot, especially early on in the game. It just does a very good job of creating this very interesting political struggle, I feel. I heard that another wagon bound for Egros was attacked.
Must have been the Death Corps.
Something's starting. Know anything, Delita? And there he is, the man of the hour. No, but I can guess. What do you mean? Prince Larg's coming to town. Prince Larg? Why? Not only Larg, but Marquis Elmdor of Limberry too. That's news. It's not an official visit, is it? There are danger zones everywhere in Evilise. The Hokiton Knights are in full operation, but suffering from a shortage of men. So, they need us as cadets. And yep, that's what... I think it said that, but we're essentially at a military academy right now. We're not fully fledged knights or anything like that. Everyone, fall in. So we have my G here, so we're kind of getting a lot of backstory on him as well. You have a mission. As you know, barbarians are rapidly increasing here in Galleon. The traitorous Death Guard detest the royal family. We cannot overlook them. We'll begin exterminating these traitors by order of our master. Larg's knights are stationed at Egros Castle and many other groups will participate. Your duty is to support the flank. Specifically, you'll go to Egros and help guard it. Oh boy, castle duty. Sounds like a good time. Yeah, I have no idea what she says, but it's not good. Cadets, ready your swords. A gang of tortured thieves is trying to sneak into this town. We'll begin preparations now to keep them out of town. Come with me. This is the front line of operations. That's all. Prepare immediately. Alright, we got our first mission right here. And this is like the first time that I horribly screwed up when I tried playing this for myself. All those years ago. So we're gonna see battle preparations in a second here. Right now, in fact. And I didn't know how to put more people onto this. I can only deploy my G. So I start the next map and it's just him and delete it and then I get body bagged. Okay, so let's see, how do we want to do this? Now, we have generics here who are more likely than not all going to be getting replaced, but we need to bring certain generics. And what I'm looking for on these guys, if I were to bring any of them for the long term, would be brave. I want characters with high brave for the most part. And also characters with good weapons. I didn't get a single crossbow guy? Oh, no. Oh, no! Some of these squires can come with crossbows, which would have been really nice on this map. So this is going to be very interesting to say the least. Oh, wow. I can't believe that. No crossbows? Not a single one. Did I have a dagger guy? Yeah, we have this dagger girl, so we'll bring her. A chemist, obviously. Oh, my. These generics are all so bad. These generics are all so bad, dude. Brave is a very important stat to have at least some of on every character, and Faith is something more for magical type units. Yeah, I think we want this. So essentially, we're selecting the units that we can bring for this battle. As you can see on the left-hand side, it says capacity. You can bring up to a maximum of 5 characters for this match. I want somebody with daggers because that actually gives a point of speed in Final Fantasy Tactics 1.3. I would have also liked to see somebody have a have an aim crossbow because squires can actually come with those now. They can actually use those. But no, why would I be lucky? No, I agree 100%. Why would I ever have any kind of luck ever? God damn, the RNG is already coming for my soul. And we're one map into the game. That is just crazy. That is just crazy. So this is like the first real map, by the way. Maybe not in terms of 1.3, but if you were playing this for the first time for yourself, this would be the one that's actually, I don't want to say it's challenging, but you could conceivably lose this if you didn't know anything about what you were doing. What's this? Just a bunch of kids? What luck? Okay, all we have to do is kill these kids. Then we can escape. Don't you worry, we'll kill every one of you. Boy! My G's gonna have something to say about that, I have no doubt. Conditions for winning, defeat all enemies. So the victory conditions in this game are generally one of either kill all enemies, defeat the boss, or in a few cases something special like reach a certain point. So basically pretty standard stuff, honestly. There's not too much crazy going on there. But for right now, we're basically just looking at rout the enemy, more or less. Now, we wanted somebody with a dagger in front because we can get this guy's attention. Ideally, if I would have had a crossbow, this would have worked out better, without any doubt. Because I would have been able to kill this chemist right here. Because he likes to run out there like he's going to do something. Maybe I actually have good compatibility with this guy. Oh, I do. So that kind of helps out a little bit. I'll be doing like a little bit more damage. And I didn't really talk about how that works. But for a weapon like a sword, all the weapons kind of work a little bit differently with their own little properties. But for something like a sword, you essentially look at the attack power, which we can see there is 4. We can see that I have 4 attack power on my G as well, so I'll deal 20 damage. It's multiplicative, essentially. So I deal 20 damage, but I'm actually going to deal a little bit more than that to the chemist because I have good compatibility with him. I was just seeing if he would be in range because I want to throw a rock at him, seeing as how I don't have any kind of, I don't have any crossbows, man. So I can do 8 damage to him right here. Deleted probably throws a rock at him too. As you can see there, the battle forecast for some of these abilities doesn't necessarily reflect how much damage you're going to be doing at the end. That's because some of them have more like damage ranges rather than actual guaranteed amounts of damage. Like Throwstone is one example of that, where it can do anywhere between 50% damage to 150% damage, I believe. And we get crit right off the bat. Crits also work kind of differently, where I think they can do anything between 100% to 200% of damage, and they can also knock you back. which does matter for things like positioning as well as... Goodbye, by the way. Been a lot of fun. I'll pick her up in a second. It also matters, though, because for positioning, and also if you get knocked off of, like, a roof or something, it can deal some passive damage to you. I am so used to skipping over this. My bad. Essentially, he was just saying, hey, be careful there, Ramza. And he's like, oh, don't patronize me, Deltre. I'm also a Beoulve. And then this thief is like, Beoulve, the Beoulve family. So, you must be cadets from the military academies, not those little nobles. Silence, surrender, or die in obscurity. I love that line. He's like, hey, shut the hell up. What can a bunch of kids like you do? A bunch of spoiled punks like you will never beat us. Oh, give me like 5 rounds. So, even though Deltre knocked this guy back, I think we're still in range as we are. Can I finish him off, do you think? The compatibility is not enough, and he's gonna block anyway, so this sucks. All of this was bad. All of this was bad. Now, I did actually wait with that chemist intentionally because something else about the way that the CT bar works is that if you don't take any actions, essentially you get to save a little bit of your CT. I can't hit this guy at all. I can't hit this guy at all. The Final Fantasy Tactics RNG didn't take too long to set in, now did it? But because I didn't take an action with her, essentially she got to save 40 points. 20 from not taking any action, and then an additional 20 from also not moving on top of that. I'm actually going to revive here just to give these guys a distraction because everything went wrong. Everything went wrong, man. Chapter 1, and we are already looking to lose. That's so good. That's just great. I love it. Oh, well. Is this rock going to be enough, really? And he gets the 100%. Why can't I get 100%? Why can't I even hit this guy? Oh, my lord. Oh, my lord. At least we blocked that. So I'd ideally not like my chemists to go down because, as you can see, they can throw items up to 4 tiles away, which is very, very useful for a multitude of reasons. Now, these guys probably do have crossbows, I imagine. Yeah, of course they get crossbows. I can't get crossbows, but they can get crossbows. And we just missed our turn with this character. As you see, their counter reduced from 3 down to 2. And if it's 0, they are going to die permanently. However, you can reset it every time you revive, so as long as you're making sure to reset it every once in a while, it's really hard for a character to go down in a situation like this. Anyways, later on it becomes kind of a problem because you're kind of risking a lot to revive a character because that's your entire turn. You're not doing any kind of damage to these guys. You're not taking away from their ability to do damage. By the way, 67 is 0, so obviously I was going to block that. But yeah, you're not taking away from their ability to do damage or do nasty things to you, so it's not really great for you to spend your entire time stuck in a revival loop, basically. It's really hard to get out of those too, so you really don't want to let that happen if you can avoid it. Now, there's really no reason I can't take this chemist out, and again, we want to do that right off the bat because this chemist is essentially going to be a huge problem keeping everybody alive and preventing me from really finishing anybody off. And because, like I said, we can actually save a little bit of our CT gauge by not moving, I'm actually just going to throw the stone and wait right here, which is going to let us get to our next turn that much faster. Now, do I actually, in fact, want to go for the revive here? I mean, I can. I definitely can, but I don't know if it's really worth it. I do not know if it's worth it. I actually don't think that it really is. Where's Deltre going? Now, I'm just going to move her over here. And we want to face the enemies as much as possible so that we can have a better chance at evading. I want to let this girl come out here so that she exposes herself a little bit more. The reason I don't really want to revive right now is because we actually only start with 2 Phoenix Downs, so if things keep going horribly as they have been, I mean, I don't want to have to expend those on a character that I'm probably not using, let's be honest. Okay, so we're still hanging in there, but just barely. Now, I wonder if she's going to get a turn in time to help me out here. 89, 82, that's good. 82. Okay, cool. So she's actually going to get her turn before any of those other guys because of the way that we went about this. We essentially saved enough CT that it's not going to be too tough to get a potion over to my G, which is great. We can take this guy out of here too, so that's 1 turn gone for this guy. I'm just going to move behind so that I don't miss, basically. Goodbye. All right. So now I can throw this potion. I'm not even sure. Oh, I do have to move. Unfortunate. Well, we can just move over here, throw the potion. It's a range of 4, so again, not too big of an issue. And, well, one thing I was going to mention is the fact that line of sight in this game matters, which would, it'd be really easy to give an example of that had we got a crossbow in our first group. But since we didn't, I mean, I can't really do too much. Deltre may even revive me here. Yeah, he's going to waste my Phoenix Down. By the way, that does come out of your inventory. We got a really good roll on Phoenix Down. That can go anywhere from 1 to 20 points. So the fact that we got the 20 is very, very nice. We might actually be able to save her. I didn't even catch her name because, again, I'm replacing like all of these guys more likely than not. Let's see. Now, is there anybody that can even really attack here? Yeah, I can get this guy. I can get this guy. Let's get it. Now, with the water, you don't want to go into a tile with water depth 2. If you go into water depth 1, it's just kind of like a terrain penalty like you might expect for literally any other game. But with the terrain penalty of 2, or with the water depth of 2, you basically can't take any action if you end your turn there. So keep that in mind as well. So I'm kind of paying attention to where I'm moving myself a little bit in that sense. We, of course, eat the 60%er because this game is just, it's being kind of cruel to me right now. Delita wasted my last one, didn't he? Yeah, he does. Thank you, Delita. Appreciate it, bud. Now, do I have basic skill on you? I do not. I do not have basic skill, so no throwing a stone here. That would have been nice if I could have, but sadly, that's not going to happen. We can still pick this guy out pretty easily with just about anybody, though, I imagine. And I'm going to stab this girl in the back. No, not a quick change. Golly. Something else, though, is that if you make a move, like if you move to a certain tile, you can't take it back in this game, so you have to actually think about that before you try to preview damage or anything like that. You have to actually consider whether or not you want to make that move to begin with. You're going to get a turn, right? Is her name Shima? Oh, it is. Hey, what's up, Shima? I see a marksman in our future. Give her the Parthia. Oh, man, oh, man. We can at least attack this guy, and then Shima is actually going to be able to throw a rock at that guy sitting in the water so that we can take him out without having to get up close and personal, basically. Probably should have checked the compatibility, though, because there's a chance that I could get, like, a really bad roll on this, and he'll survive, which would suck. Of course, come on, 100%. Oh, my God. Of course I get the 50% roll. So the lead is going to waste my time. Probably throw a rock. Yeah. He might not even kill. He does, thank God. Thankfully, he managed to pull that off. And we're looking pretty good now. This could be a little bit of an issue. Do I have any other revival? No, I do not. I only have the cheer up ability. Yeah, my G actually forgot like 90% of what he could do in that intro battle. So we're just going to basically be attacking here for the most part. Yeah, these guys don't have any other forms of revival or healing, though, so we can... Oh, right. I forgot about this ability. So, Squires have access to an ability exclusive in 1.3 called Defy Pain, which means that if they are in critical damage, they can use this ability to bring themselves back by 50% of their health, which I totally neglected to remember. 100% my own fault. We can still take this girl out, no problem. No problem. Between Delita and my G, with a little bit of help from whatever your name was, I didn't catch it. Either way, whoa, my controller, no. Man, I clicked off my screen. I'm like, why is my controller going ape shit? No, that would make sense. So let's throw a rock at this guy. This is the best ability in the game. Oh yeah, make no mistake. And I think that actually is going to let us finish this guy off now with generic Shima here. I almost kind of want to keep using her. Get a crit or something. Man. So right there, we saw what happens when you... Essentially what happens when your counter reaches 0. Now that's one of two possibilities. You can either turn into a crystal, as that character did right there, which will give you the choice between learning some abilities that character knew before they turned into a crystal, or the choice of healing you back to like full HP and MP as well. The other option is for them to turn into a treasure box. I can throw a rock at this guy. No, actually, dude doesn't even... Dude. My G doesn't even know how to throw rocks. My G, you kind of suck here. Well, I can head on over this way. He's probably going to defy pain again, which I can't really prevent. But as I was saying, you can either get a crystal when their counter reaches 0, or you can get a treasure box, which will drop one random item for you to collect for yourself. There are generally better ways to do that other than relying on treasure boxes, honestly. Oh, this guy doesn't have defy pain. That's good. I might die here. I do. That's fine. It's not a game over if my G dies. It's just a game over if either everybody dies or if my G turns into a crystal. Now, since I'm going to be dumping these guys anyways, I'm actually not worried about getting the crystal. I'm not, and you can also see that you can both, you can move after you do an action in this game, which is useful sometimes. So my G is going to get into a close relationship with the ground there, but that's fine. That's fine, man. I do not care. This is my G. He's going to be putting in work, make no mistake. There's something kind of interesting about my G in that he has both good magic and physical, depending on Despite the fact that generally in this game, dudes have better physical damage and girls have better magical damage, but dude is just good at both. So that's kind of cool about him. I'm not really too worried about him so far. There's like, probably the next time I post one of these, whenever that may be, I'm kind of looking for something to put up on like Tuesdays and Thursdays just to have like an off day or whatever. So that's probably when this goes up. But we can talk more about what was really going on there, because you might have seen that we're getting not only experience, which is pretty self-explanatory, but something called JP as well. We'll actually be able to do stuff with that after this map, but for now it's like, why would I? I don't want this to be mechanics the episode, man. Why do you continue committing acts like robbery? You wouldn't have died this way if you led an honest life. Well, maybe they felt they couldn't. Did you ever think of that, my G? I don't think you did. But you will. Make no mistake. The game will not let you forget. Congratulations, this battle has been completed. And after completing each mainline story mission, you get these war trophies, which are essentially fixed rewards that you can use going forward. So we got a Mythril Knife and 2 more Phoenix Downs. Thankfully, especially useful after delete a wasted mine, but whatever, man. With that, though, I think I'm going to call it here, because we should have now access to the world map, which is going to allow us to save, mess with our classes and stuff. God, why does this problem always happen? Like, I swear to God, this game is way more difficult to emulate than it ever should be. Yeah, I swear to God. So I'll fix that by next time. We're going to save up. And with that, yeah, that's going to do it. So thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this little experiment, I guess. I'm gonna beat this game this time, man. I swear to God, I will. Anyways, if you want to be like a name generic, post it up, and I will catch you guys later. See you then. Peace.